Hey, it's me, Bruce, and it's time for a coffee break, don't you think? Grab that coffee, tea, or whatever your favorite beverage is and join me for a few minutes, won't you? Hey, coffee break is an idea that I had a few weeks ago, and I just put it into action every Monday through Friday. A new video at 9 a.m., and we talk a little bit about tech, life, but mostly it's devoted to you, which I think is something a bit different than a lot of YouTubers do. This is more to answering your questions and kind of having some banter back and forth. Not quite real time, but leave your questions down below. Life, business, career, technology, whatever. I'll do my best to answer them. But before I get started, I always like to have a little topic to begin with. That's Netflix and how it's really changed how people watch television, and is particularly on how they consume this content. You know, I came up in a time where television had maybe 3-4 channels, and then cable television came out and we had a lot more to watch, but we've always had those blasted commercials, and we always had to wait till the next week or what have you to get through an entire season of a series that we wanted to watch on television. And that kind of sucked because in that model, you had to be there when it was on TV. You couldn't do it at your leisure. Thanks to technology and Netflix, for example, Netflix really changed the game for the way a lot of us consume content. And that is the ability to stream an entire season of a program, commercial free, without interruption, one after another, after another, after another. And what my wife and I found is that when we started trying internet cable, we subscribed to Sling TV for a little while, and we canceled that and went with DirecTV Now. We're not watching it like we thought we would. We're not getting the value out of it because we simply can't stand the commercials anymore. We don't want to be watching DirecTV at a particular time because that's when a particular show comes on. Now, I know that some services will offer DVR. DirecTV Now doesn't have that working yet. I think it's in beta on Sling TV. I'm not sure. Of course, you have newly announced YouTube TV. But the bottom line is, we just find that we really like watching an entire series, episode after episode after episode. And it's really changed the way we enjoy television to the point that we are probably going to cancel DirecTV, even though, in my opinion, it's not a great big loss, because DirecTV, personally, folks, is very unreliable. It freezes a lot, and sometimes there's nothing available in the guide, and it's not good. It's not good. It's not worth even what I'm paying for it, which is $40 a month, including HBO, because it's just so damn unreliable. It'll get better, I'm sure, over time. But the point is, we just can't go back. We cannot go back. We can't seem to enjoy the way we consume content like we can with Netflix. So I want your comments, I want your opinions down below on that. Okay, this is about you more than it is me. So let's get to some of your questions, and I will try to answer them. The first one comes from Gordon Keenan, who wants to know, what do you think the younger users don't appreciate about technology that we older users do? And that is, in my opinion, doing without, what it was like not to have it. Whether it is the internet, because back in the day we went to the school library or we went to the public library to get information, and we certainly couldn't instantly communicate with our friends or family. We didn't have any of that. So that convenience factor, that wasn't there. The opportunity to gain knowledge, to share, to have these things that we just didn't have them. And so to be born into having these things, you just take it all for granted. But we know what it was like to do without. And just like technology will continue to march on, the younger generations today will know what it's like to do without the technology that their children will be enjoying. So, when we grew up, I had air conditioning, and I remember having a color television, getting the first color TV in our block. And what a shock that was. So, I mean, we had some technology, and our parents didn't have growing up. So, yeah, I just took certain things like television for granted. My dad grew up listening to the radio. So it's all, it just kind of moves along. Okay, next question. Christopher Lance. Are you going to buy the new AMD Ryzen? Well, if I strictly judged everything based on specs and price that I'm seeing as of today, I would certainly probably buy Ryzen. But I want to see it out in the field. I want to give it a little bit of time. I want to see put through its paces in the real world applications. And then, how does Intel respond? What do they do? And then we'll make a decision at that point. But I know within about a year, it's going to be time to completely rebuild my PC. And at that point, we will make the final decision. Right now, Ryzen's looking really good. Stephen Whitley writes, he loves McDonald's coffee. And Stephen, by the way, whenever we're out on the road and we want a cup of coffee, it is McDonald's coffee too. None of that high-priced Starbucks stuff. I mean, it's delicious coffee. Anyhow, he says, believe it or not, he ended his corporate Thursday before last. Feels like a fish out of water. Well, I don't know. Hopefully you retired, and so congratulations. Hopefully it's a good thing, not that was planned. Not sure what to try next. Won't likely be YouTube. YouTube is just a hobby for me, just a hobby. But it's a great hobby. It's very, very enjoyable. Read yesterday that when asked about themselves, women lie about their weight over 90% of the time. See, I never ask a woman about her weight. And I avoid the whole thing. And I want to live. Men lie about their height. And it says, since I play sports, I was often measured. I was 5'11.25". How about you, Bruce? I haven't been measured in my height in a long time, but I'm around 5'10" and 5'10.5", in that range. No reason to lie about it. I hear that you kind of shrink height-wise the older you get, so I probably should get measured, but I've never lied about my height. Never. I think probably there are a lot of men who round off. Probably, if they're 5'11.25", probably say they're 6. Do you think men, I know men are just as vain as women. We just won't admit to it. Next one comes from Stephen Mistak. What's your opinion on antivirus programs? Software, okay, from the top. What's your opinion on antivirus programs and software versus paid service antivirus programs removal service? Okay, I'm trying to understand your question, but it sounds like you're asking me buying antivirus software versus paying somebody to clean up after an infection, maybe. The old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And since I am in the network security industry, I am a firm believer in antivirus protection for your PC. No matter how good we are, there's always that potential to slip and contract a rootkit, a virus, malware, spyware, some type of bad thing. So I just think an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Next question comes from Urban Settler. What is your opinion on Windows 10 new privacy settings? Is it still any good, or still there are some loopholes in privacy to be fixed? Urban Settler is like this. Microsoft will always have a way to manipulate Windows in order to get the telemetry that they need and desire for both quality and marketing purposes. Recently, I just read that Microsoft is experimenting, advising people against purchasing software other than the Microsoft Windows Store. So that's kind of a new one, but not a big surprise that they would go down that path, that they want everybody to buy their software through there, and that way it's supposed to be safe and not spyware or anything bad happen. Microsoft can do a lot of things behind the scenes. So no matter what tools, utilities, etc., that you get to prevent Microsoft from collecting telemetry, they're always, because they built the thing, they know their way around it. It is the price that we have seemed to pay to get a free copy of Windows 10. Even if you paid for Windows 10, it is the sign of the times, the way that they are making money. So unless you move away from Windows to another operating system, this is going to be a perpetual game of whack-a-mole that you might stop the privacy intrusion here, but then another one will pop up over there. And finally, Bill Baldwin writes, Bruce, do you know about the Synology NAS chip problems from Intel? Some of these are burning out after 18 months. If you have an Atom processor in it, look it up. I did look it up, and mine has the Marvell Armada 385. So that is not an Intel chip, so nothing to worry about as far as I know there. However, Bill, Synology is now extending, if you have one of these devices, they are extending the warranty by 1 year. So if you effectively have a 2-year warranty, you will now have a 3-year warranty. And if you have a 3-year warranty on that NAS, you will now have a 4-year warranty. And that wraps up today's coffee break. Please leave your comments down below. That's what makes this fun. Your questions, your comments that we can share back and forth. Bruce Naylor, take care.